Next week on Home and Away in the UK, Abigail faces another setback when Theo learns about her past. With Abby already devastated to learn that the counselor she trusted had dropped her as a client after falling for her sister, Tim continues to inadvertently wreak havoc in her life. In amongst the chaos of beginning counseling, Abby had sparked up a friendship with Theo, and it was clear that there was some flirtiness between the two. However, with Molly also keen on Abby, he deliberately let Theo believe that Abby was already taken after he asked about the guy called Tim who was calling her. Whilst Abby was furious when she overheard Cash talking about Eden being in a relationship with Tim, it was equally surprising to Theo that Tim was in fact Abby's counselor and not her boyfriend. Theo was confused as to why Molly would lie to him, with Molly later claiming that he was just looking out for Abby, not sure if she was ready for a relationship. After spending further time with Theo as she came to terms with Eden and Tim's betrayal, things are looking up for Abby next week as she looks forward to her first official date with him. However, Theo's uncle Justin soon puts the cat amongst the pigeons. Introduced to Tim whilst over at the share house for Remy's gathering, Justin can't quite place where he's seen him before. Following Cash's confrontation, it finally dawns on Justin that Tim had run a drug counseling session he'd attended a few years back, when he was going through his addiction to prescription painkillers. The fact that Abby was one of his clients however is a worry for Justin, particularly after Theo was introduced to drugs by his last girlfriend Valerie to help deal with stress. Theo has seen a counselor of his own since then, and Justin shares his concerns with Leah whilst wondering if Theo even knows about the reason behind Abby's sessions with Tim. The next day, when Justin and Leah later get confirmation from Kirby about Abby's issues, they know they need to intervene. As Theo waits for Abby to join him for assault, Justin sits himself down as he explains they need to talk. Over at the farmhouse, Abby emerges from her room dressed up for her date. Levi's already heard about the date on the Summer Bay grapevine, and tells his little sister that Theo seems like a nice guy. He's pleased to see Abby looking so happy, and comments that it's like she's starting her life again after all the troubles of recent months. Theo is stunned as Justin reveals what he's learned about Abby, especially considering their date is about to begin. When Abby eventually arrives at Salt, Theo asks if they can walk and talk instead. Theo has to come straight out with it and ask whether Abby has a drug problem. She admits that she did, but is in the process of trying to turn her life around. Theo thanks Abby for her honesty, but she can see that he's not comfortable with the idea, so she calls their date off. Abby seeks solace from Molly whilst Theo talks with Leah and Justin. Whilst Theo likes Abby, what if things turned bad for either of them? When the two later meet again, Theo reveals to Abby that he is also in recovery himself, having gone down a bad path in his previous relationship. Whilst he's happy that she's getting help, he cannot be in a relationship with her. Abby puts on a brave face but immediately goes to seek out Levi at the hospital. She doesn't find him in the emergency department, unaware that he's actually at home, but does spot the nurses doing one of their routine checks on the resus trolley. As she eyes up the vials of morphine visible, she ignores a call from Levi. With the checks complete, the nurses go about their business, leaving the now sealed card unattended. Will Abby be tempted to relapse?